Hey, well, welcome back. This is for anybody and everybody that's interested in Catholic spirituality, understanding from the inside how the Catholics think. For people who are good, bad, and indifferent, doesn't matter. We're talking about things that are part and parcel of the teachings of the Catholic faith, particularly John of the Cross. We want John of the Cross to speak. We want to open him up. We want to let him talk. In order to do that, we want to understand the vocabulary he's using, and we want to understand the meaning of some of his concepts, just basic concepts. 3-4 minutes here. This is actually my second tape. Should be episode 8 on the intellect. This is counterculture now. There are 3 functions or capacities to the intellect, God-given. We didn't bargain. I didn't say, well, maybe I want to be created. We were thrust into existence. We were thrust into existence. We did not negotiate that. You have to understand it. So that's something that John of the Cross, it was on his map, he did not debate. Intellect. The intellect has 3 capacities. It has the capacity to know truth. It has the capacity to judge what is true. And it has the capacity to assent, to choose the truth. The intellect can say, I know that to be true. I judge that to be true. And I assent to that to be true. I assent. I give my assent. I say, okay, I accept that as truth. I choose that truth in the intellect. This is not a matter of the will choosing. This is the intellect. So to know, to judge, and to choose / assent, that's on the map of John of the Cross. It may not be on your map. And you'll see these signs at Catholic parishes. If you're too busy judging, you're not loving. Well, I think what they mean is that if you see that homeless person wearing a sign, don't assume he's going to hell. Don't judge that someone is beyond the reach of God. If you see someone who's in great sin, don't abandon them. Where there's life, there is hope that God can reach. Don't limit God. But that's not what it says. It says if you're too busy judging, you can't love. Well, from a Carmelite position, it could be a little bit more precise because we were created to judge. And that lack of judging has gotten us into a lot of problems. And you'll watch how we go deeper into John of the Cross. We'll let John of the Cross speak, and you argue with him. It's not a problem. You'll say to him, and he will talk very harshly about poor spiritual direction, about spiritual directors that are ignorant, incompetent, and harm souls. You'll watch how he does that. Again, I want you to consider that the intellect has enemies, blockers, and defects. Remember the plate that we used and the candle in episode 6. We want to review that. That there is this, you have this light and this knowledge, but that knowledge could be blocked. Be blocked by appetites. It can be blocked by ignorance. It can be blocked by a defect in the mind. Something between that, the eye and the object can block it. That can block your knowledge. That can block your intellect. Can block your understanding. So consider that you do have an intellect. Put that on your map of knowledge. Try to understand what John of the Cross meant before you reject all that. But when he's talking about it, he spends a lot of time on the intellect. It's one of the 3 faculties of the soul. Many philosophers, theologians, and even saints may divide these into different, there's not 3, but maybe there's 5 faculties. John of the Cross uses 3. And I'm not quibbling with anybody here. I just want John of the Cross to have a voice. I want John of the Cross to speak to you in the best way I know how. And you're not limited by me. You can dig into him yourself and find out more about that. But again, the intellect is there. The intellect is there for a reason. Very important in prayer. We'll talk later on about one of the defects in prayer that can occur in the intellect. And that is distractions can occur in the intellect. That we can talk about the defects that can be aroused by the soul itself, by bad spiritual direction, things outside us, by the devil. But one of the defects in prayer occurring in the intellect is distractions. The remedy for that is just to persevere. Offer your time in prayer, but persevere. We can do an entire tape on that defect of prayer and distraction. But it is something that many will go to prayer. Many will experience that distraction and be frustrated. Just accept it. Think of the little flower being distracted by the rosary beads of the nun before her. We'll go into that story on a separate tape. But the woman was clicking her beads. That noise was coming to the little flower, who we as Catholics feel is a saint and believe is a saint. And it was distracting her. She just offered up her patience. The first attribute of love in Corinthians is patience. So she offered up that love. Go back to the candle in episode 6. She loved even though there was defect, there was a blocker in the intellect. She couldn't concentrate on God. At that time, she simply loved and gave her patience and accepted that distraction. Okay? It's all in the intellect. All right, thank you. We'll move on. Hang in here. We're going to go into the next portion of the tape.